my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay
everyone?
calm.
What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Wait.
Everybody calm down!
Help!
Here.
Oh.
Take my hand.
Ah!
Come on. You're gonna fall unless you take my hand.
No, give me your other hand.
Oh, my other hand isn't strong enough. You take my little hand.
No! Get it away from me!
Take it. Take my hand.
Ah!
You are an old man and a fool!
Yes. I was a fool. To think you were ready.
Father. Hey!
Through your arrogance and stupidity, you have opened these peaceful realms and innocent lives to the horror and desolation of war! You are unworthy of these realms, unworthy of your title! You're unworthy of the loved ones you have betrayed. I now take from you your power in the name of my father and his father before. I own it all, father! Cast you out! Whosoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor.
Yo, hello. He deserved it, Awasi. That's why I did it. I don't remember what he did. He deserved it. Did you edit that on your phone while still skating? No, I did it afterwards. And I put in the music. But I was skating and I was moving the camera. Is that good enough? What's up, everybody? I didn't stream today because, again, Rob said he can't. And I said, well, all right, well, let's do the art share tomorrow. Unfortunately, that means Mo is probably going to miss out on Rob's delightful takes. But can't be helped. And I thought, you know what? I'll just do an old school after work stream, you know? Well, Mo's got the lowdown. He remembers. He was found guilty of gross weebery and corrupting a minor by trying to turn NTM into a weeb. I remember now. There you go. Purely justified. I like that Mo says, I wonder what if Drew McWeeny would think. If I'm going to Google Drew McWeeny, see if he's still around. I totally forgotten his name. Drew McWeeny, who we just thought looked, oh wow, we just thought he looked a lot like Skip Edwards, to the point where that's what I think Skip Edwards looks like now. Hold on a sec. Hold on. Poor Drew. Where are you? I don't know if the years have been nice to Drew. I'm not here to throw a man under the bus, but it is relevant law-wise. So that's where we got the picture of Drew. But that's what he looks like now, apparently. Although maybe that's what he always looked like. And he's just cut off a bit of his beard. And he packed not that much weight, a little bit of weight. Maybe 5 kilos will do that. But I don't even know who Drew McWeeny is. We just thought he looked so much like Skip Edwards. And we thought that was funny back in the day. You know, those things happen. I hope you're doing well. I have a few panels left to color in the first half of the book. So I'm going to do that. Share them. I'll say hello to all you fine people here in the chat. We've got 14 people. What did Jake say? It's 4 a.m. in the morning for all you late night owls, or maybe you're on the West Coast, or maybe you're somewhere else. Moromi came in first. So we're going to honor him as we must. Got 8 for the year. We've got, who else we got in here? There's Jake. It is, it's actually almost 6 p.m. where I am. So it still works. What's up, Bogan World? Let's go. Hail Mo Biggs, the Golden Wrench. Just what I needed while up all night coding. Excellent, Awasi. I still haven't gotten back to Awasi. That's my fault. My apologies. He's got big things brewing. He's cooking, as Jake loves it when people say that. But I'm cooking too. And you know, it keeps me busy. We got Sim in the house. What's up, Sim? Great to see you. Always great to see Sim. Got Bretsky here. Jav Styler. I wonder what time it is in Germany. I'm going to Google that. Germany time right now is 9:53 a.m. He's just getting his day started. I guess Germany is like what I am for the Americans. The Americans start their streams and it's always, you know, like 9, 10 a.m. in the morning for me. What's up, Mugen One? I see Geek Hazu in the house. Who else is here? Who else? Oma Glitch. Look at all these fine people coming in. Felix Huss, the Link Master. Mo says, I recommend you grows the beard back. Yeah, once you get to a certain age, that chiseled jawline, it just, even if you're thin, it kind of starts sagging a little bit. I killed Jake with the cookings. You were saying you were cooking the other day, Jake. I thought it was back on the menu. Jeff says he sends Weebury links to corrupt an adult. Jiro Taniguchi rules. I wonder if I pronounce that right. You got the old Mark Brooks look. Yeah, the round face with small features on a big round head. He was a writer for some pop culture news site. I really can't remember. I'll have to take your word for it. Genuine Comics. What's up, Dave? In the house. We've got Kirk here too. You been here before, Kirk? I can't remember. I see Kirk in lots of other chats, but I can't remember if he's been here. If you have, I apologize. Welcome. Not Valley. Shout out to California. What's going on in California these days? Is it still a hellhole? Actually, I hear California is really nice outside of the major cities. So I shouldn't besmirch the entire state. That would be bigoted of me, prejudiced. And I shouldn't even besmirch it anyway, considering I literally live in a hellhole these days. Every time the government announces something new, it's worse than before. Oh, that's what just happened. I know we get a little bit. I use these draw streams to rant a little bit. I gotta show you this, otherwise you're just not gonna believe me. Where is it? News. News. Oh, it's not really anything to show. You can just tell you. Australia has just adopted, I believe 2 days ago, adopted the World Health Organization Pandemic Agreement, which gives the WHO full autonomy over our laws regarding pandemics, epidemics, pandemic prevention, preparedness, and response. That includes vaccinations, everything. What is it? Medical advice from the government. When they say advice, I mean, they're going to mandate you to do stuff. We just signed that away. Congratulations. Now, bureaucrats in, where is the WHO? Belgium? Geneva? Where the hell are they? They have full control over our government. Awesome. I've always lurked, says Kirk. How the Bancroft bump. The good old days. It's still bumping along. I mean, yeah, admittedly, it's not as big of a bump as it once was, but good job, voters. I know, right? We had the Liberals, as flawed as they are, they're our conservatives. Weren't going to do that. But anyway, I refuse to get upset over things that are completely out of my control. It's like Australians just keep voting for it, especially Victorians. Just keep voting for it again and again and again. I wash my hands of it. All right, what am I doing here? I'm going to finish him off. I think it's just him. We did her. Did I want to put... I'll put a highlight on that. Why not? Let's get crazy. Let's go nuts. All right, I got to make sure everything is where it needs to be. Yes. I wonder what I'm going to do once I finish these pages. What am I going to show? Because all the other pages sort of show the rest of the story. I don't know. I guess if you're watching these, you don't really care about spoilers, I suppose, probably. I'm not going to tell you what happens, but... These first, I think they're like 15 pages. It's when Ella's taken on these guys in the warehouse. I think I've pretty much showed everything except the last 2 pages of that whole sequence. Because I've been working on them all week. They're taking me forever, but I'm not going to show the last 2, obviously. Gotta leave something for the imagination. Where's the camel toe? Says Felix Hutz. Look at that. Nice. No camel toe. We didn't need to zoom in too close to get a little bit to see my mistakes. I put the highlight on it. That's enough. We must escape these lost nations. Yeah, you think that, Jake, but then what's going to happen to them? Australia used to be a heaven on earth. We used to call it the lucky country. Now what is it? Just the India? Little India? Mo says, our strategy is to hide the WHO recommendations in the Epstein files. Yeah, then they'll never be seen. I've got to periodically mute myself and turn my camera off and blow my nose because I'm starting to get the sniffles. I don't want to put you all through that, so hold on a sec. All right, I'm back. Want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. I never saw that Flash movie. I have no interest in the Flash, and I didn't think I could sit through that guy. What was his name? I made a short about him years back, and it went viral. And I copped it in the comments for a good 6 months over that. People were not happy that I was not enamored with that guy. That girly man who goes around beating everyone up. Ezra Miller. Yeah, because I saw the... What did I see? I saw one where Ben Affleck is like, we're making a team. I saw that one, whatever that was. And he's like, stop, I'm in. And I was like, oh. I never read The Flash. I didn't watch the TV show. I hear it was good. I'm just not interested. But he can't be that lame, can he? I just thought that was incredibly lame. You're the Batman? Like, forget about it. Mo says, I didn't watch the movie because of him. Yeah, Camel watched it, and he was just telling me everything that was wrong with it. And I was like, oh. And even if I don't always agree with him straight away, I tend to end up going, oh, yeah, he was right about that. But, yeah. No Ezra Miller for me. Being a small cameo in a part of a movie was more than enough. And not because of his criminal actions, though, says Mo. Just because he sucks. That's fair enough. It wasn't the criminal actions for me either. Looks like a loser. How do we go from Viggo Mortensen Aragorn to end up with that? Boggles the mind. I've been getting back into Lord of the Rings lore videos. I was on such a Lord of the Rings lore kick for a while. I think I OD'd on Lord of the Rings. I even reread that. Well, I didn't read. I listened to the audiobook again. I don't think I finished it though. Because I got into Dune. And I finished that. And that was pretty epic. Because the Lord of the Rings trilogy didn't come out in the DEI era. That is true. Yeah, now we've got Harry Potter with Black Snape, which I'm so conflicted over. I liked the idea of a Harry Potter TV show because the movies, even Mel, and she's a big Harry Potter fan, she hasn't read the books in years, so she doesn't even really remember them. She just has the movies now, and that's the story to her. And that's literally a tenth of the story. Like any movie, even Lord of the Rings, which they're probably my favorite adaptation of anything. It's still only a small part of the overall story that's presented in the books. So I thought, yeah, that's a good opportunity to, take it slow, do a season, a book. And now I just don't know if I can do it. But I don't know why I thought it would get spared. I just hoped it would, I suppose. But even now that I see the pictures out, I don't know if you've seen them, of Harry and Hagrid, I was like, they don't look great. They kind of look like budget versions, but they're not in film. So they might just be, that looks like that sometimes when they just take a snapshot. Why is his blood black? Whose blood is black? Whose blood is black? Did I say someone's blood is black? Warhammer lore videos are the best background running music. Oh, I see. I was going to get into them because I think Henry Cavill was wanting to make a Warhammer adaptation. And I know nothing about Warhammer. And I do. It doesn't matter. Like, I'd only seen a few seasons of Game of Thrones when I got hardcore into Game of Thrones lore videos, which were amazing. They were way better than the show in the end. ultimately, all right, I think this one's done. Oh no, I've got them up here. They made the world of Westeros and Essos and everything way cooler than the TV show. The guy you're shading, his blood is black. Oh yes, right. Oh yeah, I got to put holds on it. We'll do the. I mean, I can't do it right now. Maybe I can. Maybe I can. We'll see if I can. Let's get a bit of a red going here. And set screen maybe. Nope. Working. Let's have a look here. No, I've got to. I suppose I could. Got to do my little trick because this is a. Here you go, a little bit of a teaching moment. This is just a white page, yeah. But if you want to separate the inks, then you have to take that, make a mask out of it, like so. Flip the script. And make that black. And there we go. Look, and then you can do it. I've got to come up with a name for this guy. He's in it a fair bit. He features in it for about 5 pages. Dream Man gets his teeth knocked out. The second half of the show failed us. It was the chosen one. Yeah, I've talked about this with Rob at length. Never has a show gone from such dizzying heights to such abysmal lows. And there's been some pretty epic drop-offs, you know, back in the day. But that one was spectacular. Didn't expect to be doing a bit of color holding, but you know, this is the coloring stream. House of the Dragon, asks Mo. I did not. I rewatched one season and it was a slog. And then finally at the end of that first season, it started to get, I was like, oh, it's starting to pick up right at the end, and then it ended. And I just didn't get back to it. Let's not get crazy here. You know what we did watch? Oh my God. So one of my first ever proper, I shouldn't say my first ever, because my first ever proper pop culture commentary video was the Thundercats one with Victoria. But when I thought I'll branch out of comic books, indie comics, I talked about Sandman, which I guess is related. You know, the TV show Sandman, and how gay it is, and how every second character is gay. The show itself had promise. I really liked Dream. I liked a couple of things. I thought the tone of it was pretty good in spots, but man, it had some moments. Oh my God. And it was funny. I think that video ended up getting about 50,000 views. And there was a ton of people, like a lot of people like, you're a homophobe. But there was a ton of people like, oh my God, I'm so glad someone made this video. I just was watching it and I was like, is anybody talking about this? This is crazy. Anyway, what's the name of the character? The Desire. So Desire was trans in the comic, I do believe, from memory. But in the TV show, the second season starts off and the Desire kind of walks in and it's like a full close shot, tight in on his crotch with this huge codpiece, and he's in a dressed like a female and everything, and it's this codpiece kind of slow motion shot left to right across the frame, and I look at Mel and we're just like, oh. And then the rest of the episode was just them sitting around talking. I was like, well, I guess I ain't going back. I don't know why my chat isn't updating here. Mike, the second season is even slower. Yeah, I didn't get back to it. Even Jeremy, who was, you know, doing well with that show on his Jeremy Ice and Fire, I think he ended up just ditching it because this was going nowhere. Is Hagrid played by Nick Frost from Shaun of the Dead? I can't remember who it's playing. It just doesn't look as good as old school Hagrid, but we'll see. It's hard not to find a show without the gay DA insets anymore, dude. It's crazy. It's crazy. I started watching a new show last night. I was watching it by myself, just sort of testing it out, and it looked pretty good. It's called The Institute. You know, there's this super smart kid. He reminded me of Vaughn Coleman. He was like, this kid looks like Vaughn Coleman. And it's got the bad guy from one of the Punisher seasons. Anyway, I thought, oh, this looks good. I won't watch it. I'll watch it with Mel. Mel is 100 times less tolerant than I am of these things. I can just kind of roll my eye and detach. Mel is like done. Completely, any connection she had with the show, it's like severed. And yeah, so this show's going along. It's okay. It's pretty good. You know, a lot of these shows, it takes a couple of episodes to get into it, but I feel like it's holding its own. I'm interested. And then there's this female character, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, because she looks like a dude. And she's out with a chick, and she's like, oh, chick as hot as you. And I was like, as hot as her? Anyway. Yeah, so I was like, oh, okay, yeah, everyone's a lesbian. But I said, you know what, they'd like putting lesbians in now as opposed to gays, because lesbians are more palatable, I think, to the male audience. But even still, it was like, here's another one. Another one was that really good show, the Jackal Show. That was fantastic, and he was like, I don't know if he was gay or he was just, he'll do anything to finish the job, you know, he'll even go there. I don't know, but it doesn't matter either way. They still put it in the show. I'm sure that wasn't in the original movie, which I also want to watch. But yeah, it's in everything. Can't escape it. Been watching Billions and Successions. I love Billions until I don't want to spoil it. So, but I'm just saying I love Billions. The only thing that irked me about Billions is not that they had the they them character in it. I thought actually she was one of my favorite characters in the show. It was that these hard talking, like fully almost sociopathic hedge fund guys just completely and irrevocably accepted the they themness and even called each other out when they were alone, like, oh, you better make sure you use their pronouns correctly. I was like, come off it. Like, at least be a little bit self-aware with it, because it was all over the show. And the only reason you kind of put up with it is because the character, she is a really good character. Like, and it's not like with outside the realm of, you know, these people do exist. What's up, Jim? Mo says they usually put in the wrong kind of lesbians for the male audience. Yeah, that's what this Institute show was. But I'll see. We'll see how it goes. I don't know. It could end up being another Umbrella Academy type thing because it is sort of similar-ish, I guess. Essentially, it's this nefarious, seemingly nefarious, well, you would imagine nefarious organization called the Institute kidnaps gifted children who can either do telekinesis or telepathy for reasons I haven't found out yet. And Vaughn Coleman is like the super duper smart kid. He's the main character, I think. Owatsu says, I'll say this. If the analysis is making the millions, they will call them whatever they want. Oh, I get that. It was like they go from being like 100% kind of real, totally politically incorrect people to, oh no, you're like full on hardcore. How dare you disrespect, you know, their gender sort of stuff. And I was like, that's not how that would go down, you know? They also had a poker scene in that Billions TV show, which is, let's just say it's a little unrealistic. People like to pretend that there's people out there with this poker sorcery magic skill, like in Rounders. You know, you just walk into a room and they'll say, oh, this guy has 2 pair and he's chasing a flush and blah, blah, blah. Like, it doesn't exist. But it's kind of a trope now in TV shows. And they did that. It's just like, she's a super genius poker player. Now, here we go, says Mo. No, although, shout out to Michael Mizrachi, who just won the World Series main event. People didn't think that a professional could win ever again because the fields are so big. But he did just win. He won $10 million. Which is not bad for, I think it's like 6 or 7 days work. 6 or 7 days grind. Skip is here. Skip, we were just watching the old McSweeney video earlier. I was shocked when I learned John Malkovich didn't actually talk like that. Like the Russian, pay him, pay that meant his money. It's actually really funny to hear the behind the scenes about that movie. So much of it was just ad-libbed, including that accent. Mo's got to head out. Go on with the poker. No, I'm done. I promise. I promise. So have a good night, Mo. Probably won't see you tomorrow because we'll be on Rob time. I think. Oh, hang on. Bit of hair. A little bit of hair. Just a little bit. It's doing that thing again. Awesome. Love it. I've got 3 pages I need to finish the highlights on, which I'm hoping I can do. It's not the whole pages, I don't think. I hope not. Yep. Yep. Skip recently discovered that I don't actually run my Instagram account. It's Mel. And he sent a message and Mel showed me. I was like, huh, what's he talking about? And then I checked and I looked, oh, right. Mel sent him a message. Oh, Mel posted something and he was responding to it. He was like, oh, I wondered why you were so much more pleasant on Instagram than everywhere else. It's hard enough posting on Twitter, let alone in other places. All right. Yep. Good. Up here. What's up, Cosmonaut Comics? Seen you around lately on Twitter and whatnot. Thank you very much for being here. Get some work done. If anyone hasn't backed Fractured Mind yet, I do believe it is currently sitting on 259 last time I checked. Yes, 259 backers. You could be the 260th. Get this story. I recently calculated between Waking Dream, Painted Death, Fractured Mind, and the 11 pages in the Ashcan, 207 pages of Lucent story will be out there in the world floating around. Thank you very much, Felix, for posting that. Pin that up. So it's a great time to jump on board. It's a lot of pages. Probably want to get a bookmark with that, I would imagine. I know I'm not probably sitting down and doing 200 pages in one go. But I was chatting with Adam Lawson today, and I was like, you know, you feel some pressure to compress the story a bit, but he was like, you know, he finished, what was it, Akira, which is, I think it's maybe 9,000 pages. I don't know, something ridiculous. Maybe not that many. And then he's talking about Berserk, which is still going, I believe. I think. That's 8,000 pages and counting. Who knows how many One Piece is? But I was like, yeah, I'm not thinking anywhere even within the realm of that. So I think I'm fine. Because I'm just saying, like, a lot of people, you know, they're very used to the compressed American style, whereas I'm doing a bit more of a European style, which is a bit closer to the manga way of telling a story, you know, more decompressed. Bro, your MC hit a fetish I didn't know I had for well-equipped redheads. Everyone loves redheads. Everyone loves redheads. That's why they're so desperate to get rid of them. They're too popular. They want them gone. They are the world's smallest minority. I pointed that out in a video recently, and you know, these shitheads are like, redhead is hair color is not a minority. Only that, like, it's like they get to decide what minority is. You know. Like that ethnicity doesn't count. Anyway. Yeah, redheads I hear are feisty. I'm told. So we're seeing a bit of feisty Ella here doing a thing. Berserk creator is dead. Okay. Are they gonna? Is anyone gonna continue on, or is it just that's it? They're done. Did the story end at least? That would be a disaster. Are you, as a creator, like you legit worry about that? What would happen if, you know, I die before we can get to the finale here? Talk about disaster. I'll let you know now I want one. Nice body of work to have complete and out in the world. I know, right? And it's got me thinking. It's got me thinking about how I want to do Amber Crown. You know, because I sort of went along with what I had and what everyone was asking for with the first two books. But I'm also cognizant of how long these things take to make. I don't want to give him boobies. You know, and I'm wondering, even though I never intended the Lucent books to be single issue floppies, they were never written that way. You know, I might have to do that while they're getting produced. Otherwise, people are just waiting too long. I see people like, I'm on issue 8 or whatever, or and that's great. And I come up, it's like, yeah, my next book would be issue 7, I think, or 6 at least. If I was doing single issues. Berserk is still going with the assistant. Nice. How far are you along in the colors, Michael? I can tell you right now. Again, I don't really count in pages. I'm a bit weird like that. I jump around. Just always find it's good to jump around because you don't always want to work on, you know, what you need to work on. So if you're feeling a bit like, oh, I want to work on that instead, you just can, and it keeps me more motivated. So I've still got to do the flats on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pages. I've still got to do the flats. I've got to do what I'm doing now on about another 10 pages. And then jump into the final colors on the whole book. But like the flats and the highlights are really the bulk of the work. I am still shooting to get it done by September, if possible. But colors always take so much longer than you think they will. Kirk says, I'll probably die before I get Rainbow the Brute, like so many others. There are, unfortunately, a lot of very late books out there. I'm waiting on quite a few myself, Kirk. All right. I don't know if that's right, how I haven't done that, but it's all right. I'll be able to nut it out later, maybe. I'll just do this. I don't know. I just knew he looked like he had boobs for a second there. Got worried. Looks probably better. Battle Walker 2 is coming, I swear. Yeah, I've always been like, I don't mind wait. I don't really mind waiting as long as I can see progress. As long as I know the creator's working on it and I see progress, it doesn't really bother me. If I don't, then I'm just like, all right, well, that's another write-off. And I'm just like, okay. And it is a very saucy subject because, you know, people who I'm not on great terms with and people who I am on great terms with are, you know, in the same boat. So, but I think it's perfectly fine to, you know, say, hey, this is not what I signed up for, to be waiting this long for comic books. if that's how you see it. All right. Page done. I think. Yeah. Oh, the highlights done. Highlights done, I mean. Yep. I think everything's good. Yep. All right. What's next? Do I go backwards or do I go forwards? We've got page 6, which has probably the most work to do. Maybe this does. It's hard to tell. I think I'll do this one because I feel like I'm closer. Oh, just got a backer. Thank you very much. Got a backer over on Shopify. Thank you. I like it when I hear that sound. Cha-ching. It's like playing the slot machines, which I do believe put us over 260. Where's my yeah, when we do it live, I do have to go in and manually update it, which is a problem, but you know, is what it is. All right, what are we working with here? Yep. Update the app, sync it up. Thank you very much for backing. You just made my day. Every backer after the first week, it's like you got to fight for them. You got to convince them. So it is very greatly appreciated. That was me, says Jim. Thank you very much. I couldn't find my emails back in the book, so I bought it again. You bought it again? You backed twice? I hope you got reduced shipping. Let's check that. If you backed it twice, let's have a look. Oh no, that's the first time you that's your first backing. Yeah, that's your first backing. All good. Of this book, I mean. Thank you very much, Jim. Tip the old hat. Where was I? What was I doing? Oh, yeah, I was going to show it. Zelucentcomic.com. Cool beans. Glad I didn't get left out. Yeah, I made it, Jim. Remember how I had the free shipping code? I figured out how to just do away with that now. So because you know I'm not doing flat shipping anymore. It was a lot more complicated because it's all by weight. But I figured out how to make it so that now if anyone say they want to add an ash can, or if I add anything to the campaign later on, everyone can back it and they won't be getting charged double shipping. Depending on how much it weighs, you might pay no extra shipping or maybe an extra $2 or something like that. And therefore I'm covered and everyone can back as many times as they want without getting hit with that shipping fee, which is a bit of a rort. You know, on the main crowdfunding sites, it's like that's a real issue. So it was cool that I was able to figure that out. Big ups to Shopify. Where's my thing? Where is it? Present. Stop screen. Present. 260 backers. Thank you, Jim. And you brought us over 13,500. It is high time I get my quotes off my printer for the UV spot. I keep putting it off. I don't know why. I want to make it the $15,000 stretch goal if I can, if it's feasible. But I've got to get, it's on me. I got to get the quotes. So I apologize to everyone. Backing twice is twice the reading fun. Yeah, you can get, a lot of people do like to get a reader copy and a safekeeping copy. You do know that. All right, where was I? What was I doing? No, don't do that. God, I can't. I hate how they changed it. It's so much worse now. All right, we got my Bricktop Man. Let's color him in. Let's put some highlights on Bricktop. Legally distinct Bricktop, of course. Not actually Bricktop. He's not called Bricktop. Guy Ritchie, if you ever see this. If Guy Ritchie's ever just browsing the internet, looking up indie comic draw streams and sees that I'm like named a character after his that kind of looks like his, it's just an homage. He's actually nameless. He doesn't have a name. He just gets served by Ella. He gets the business. But yeah, I'm liking it is so much easier to do a smaller book. And I know a lot of people are saying the same thing. You can get it out quicker. The only issue is you don't get as much story. And I know that is an issue, but at least you're not waiting. And in my case, you would be waiting years to get the next installment. It's just like, I think it's just the trade-off you have to make, unfortunately. Because I do work full time. I can't be drawing. I'm not drawing my book all day. I wish I was. But why is he driving down the street with a head rolled up in the window of his car? Skip, are you in the wrong chat? What are you referring? What is Skip going on about? Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels is a fantastic movie by Guy Ritchie. That's a great one too. That was the first one I saw. Probably a lot of people's first. Is that a line out of the movie the reference that I completely went over my head there, Skip? I love in Snatch the guys robbing they're gonna rob the bookies, and they park far away. It's like, why don't you park closer? There's no space. You could park a jumbo jet in there. And then they're trying to see if the guy has 4 fingers. Like, did he have 4 fingers? I don't know, Tyrone. I didn't have my binoculars. It's great writing, but it's also the way the actors say it, It was Vinnie Jones in Snatch. Is that what he says? Why is he driving down the street with a head rolled up in the window of his... Oh, yes. Yes, that's right. It's all coming back to me. He was a cool character. The fact that your gun has replica written on the side of it, and the fact that my gun has Desert Eagle .50 written on the side of mine should precipitate your balls into shrinking even further. Love it. I'm going to watch that again. I keep saying that. I should actually do it. Anything to declare? Yeah. Don't go to England. And then the dog eats the squish the toy with the diamond in it or something. And he's like, well, get it out. What do you mean get out? Open him up. What do you mean open him up? He's not a can of baked beans, is he? He's like, oh, that's a bit much, isn't it? Jolly says, I need to do a dramatic reading. No, Commie Mark does, because he's got the accent. Actually, Jake would do it really well. Skip says, I like Rock and Roller too. Did I see Rock and Roller? We were talking actually on this stream the other day about The Gentleman, which we liked. Rock and Roller. Have I seen that? I don't know if I've seen that. Maybe I have. I'm getting to that age where I've seen things and I forget. Like the other night, I watched Assassin's Creed, the movie with Michael Fassbender, because I was like, oh yeah, I haven't seen that. And I'm watching it. I'm like, maybe I have seen this. And by the end of it, I was like, no, I had seen that. And it was completely forgettable. And like I literally forgot that I'd seen it. It was not good. By that I mean the movie. Gerard Butler, the main actor, but another Guy Ritchie gangster film. A lot of people now, I feel like they're very influenced by Guy Ritchie. So I feel I get kind of I think it's Guy Ritchie, but it isn't. Peaky Blinders is a bit like that. It feels like a Guy Ritchie film. The cool one-liners and the slow motion, walking down the street and stuff. Assassin's Creed was great, wasn't it? Was it? I don't know. Maybe it's because I haven't played the game and I don't really know the lore. I felt like there was a whole story I was just kind of missing out on, and I was like, it's like, yeah, I felt like I just didn't know what it was all about and why it worked, and yeah. It felt like to me another one of those instances where you got a cool property that just the movie didn't reflect. But I really do like Michael Fassbender. I think he's awesome. Does he look a bit weird with his lips like that? Let's bring them in a bit. It's got a bit of weird lippage. That'll do. That'll do. Agent Cub says, yeah, it was pretty lame, wasn't it? It was just kind of generic and forgettable. There's nothing wrong with the look of it. It looked really cool. But I felt like they were trying to cram a lot into one film, and I felt like they didn't succeed. I was missing a lot. They're finally gonna finish Peaky Blinders. We didn't even get. I was loving Peaky Blinders, and then we didn't even get past the 5th season. So I've still got to go back. We've got that Black Blood again. That's a lot of color holding I'm gonna have to do here. Has to be done. What's up, Paulus Arts? Nice to see you here. But yeah, I loved Peaky Blinders for a while. The only thing is, I noticed it was sort of starting to look like it was unraveling, and I don't like that. I want him to win, so I don't know what happened necessarily, but that was the same thing that happened in Vikings with Ragnar. He just sort of unraveled, and I stopped watching. I was like, I want to see Ragnar, winning. I want to see him killing and pillaging. I don't want to see him getting outsmarted and Did I watch Warrior? Really fun show around the same time period as Peaky Blinders. Warrior? I don't think so. Is it like a British show? It's a gangster show, yeah? Doesn't ring a bell. I swear I'm not getting all the chats here. Do I need to swap? That's why I've got it set on top chat. I gotta go live chat. I'm missing things. Damn it. Fassbender is good as young Magneto. Yeah, I liked him as Magneto. I just didn't love those films. They were they had good, cool moments, but I think I didn't enjoy the films that much. I think the what was the Days of Future Past was pretty good. But yeah, he's good in everything he's in, really. I'm finally seeing everyone's chats now. Cheers. Paulus Art says Kirk, drawer of handshakes. It takes place in San Francisco. The concept was developed by Bruce Lee. Triad gangs versus Irish labor versus. Oh yes, that's what no, that looks cool. I've seen clips of that. and it looks good. Yeah, they're like, the Irish or whatever, the locals like, get out of our town. We don't want you here, to the Chinese, and they're doing their kung fu. Yeah, that looks cool. I should check that out. Developed by Bruce Lee? God, talk about being stuck in development hell for a while. When did he die? 40 years ago? What's going on here? Have I stuffed this up? Well, not done. Let's do that. Mr. Mustache getting messed up. Yeah, she's taking out her inner latent rage on this poor fellow. But it's kind of okay because he is a concoction of her mind. So it's called Fractured Mind. It's about unpicking and getting into the depths of Ella's psyche. But yeah, she messed him up. Junk says Fassbender as the lead in Platoon. Well, maybe Camel. Actually, you can't, because they won't do they won't allow, at least in the Google one, they don't allow celebrities. to be impersonated by the AI. But yeah, maybe some other one would. I don't know if Cameron will be able to convince Fassbender, the actual actor, to appear in his remake. But you know, you never know. Talk about a movie that hits you right in the guts. You were either there or you missed it, and that's it. You know, and some of us wish we'd missed it. I can't remember what we were doing, why we were gathered there. We were doing something, and then Camel showed us that film of his, and our lives were irrevocably changed. Never to be the same again. I think this hat is sitting a little high on the head. Have to adjust that. I'll leave myself a note. Thank you very much to all the night owls who are hanging out with me while I work, allowing me to, you know, get involved in some inane chatter. Always appreciated. Thank you very much. Thank you to Jim who backed the book. Thank you to everyone who's backed, actually. It's been friggin' awesome. On a side book I didn't even draw. Great Rod Looper coming out. How many weeks? We were like 3 weeks in, 2 weeks in. 260 backers. Bancroft, you look a lot slimmer. Have you downsized your t-shirt size yet? Says Casey Anthony. Thank you. I am slimmer. The t-shirt size is staying the same because they were already kind of tight. When I got a lot of my t-shirts back in sort of like around 2011, but before then as well. So I was already thinner and I got them because I used to do the threadless competitions, and whenever I would win, part of the prize was they'd send me like, you know, a $250 voucher to their site or something. So I'd wait till they go on sale and then just get like 50 shirts, which is great. So I got so many t-shirts, but what has happened is they're no longer hugging me, actually looking decent on me again. It's been a long time since that's happened. Shit, you keep teas that long? These are good teas. The t-shirt for sale on my site will last seemingly forever. How many years are we now? So Tampa happened in 2023. In no time at all, it'll be 2026. That t-shirt is like the day I bought them. Both the t-shirt and the print. Paula says, I'm wearing a t-shirt that's almost 20 years old. Yeah, exactly. You pay for a high quality t-shirt, they will last a long time. And especially since I have so many, you know, I kind of filter. Although I do end up wearing the same ones a lot because they're my favorites. But it's not like I'm wearing them all the time. Is what I'm saying. I had a Yoda t-shirt that I got when I was a teenager. And my ex-girlfriend hated it. Was it my ex or was it Mel? Someone hated it. One of them. They both probably they would have both. Either way, it was so old and dead. But I loved it. You know, I wore it whenever I could. It was one of those t-shirts that on many occasions I sort of found buried. And I'm like, oh, you're trying to hide it from me, are you? And it turns out it was if you ever seen Step Brothers, it's the t-shirt that one of them wears in Step Brothers. It's like an Empire Strikes Back Yoda t-shirt. And I was like, but by then it had already been chucked out. I was like, see, I could have been relevant again with that t-shirt. But it was gone. And Jeff says, I have 30 Wacken Festival shirts alone. Every time I went, I got at least 2. What's the Wacken Festival? Sounds very German. Kommen Sie an Wackenfest. It sounds rude. Sounds like you're going to go on whacking. Owasi says, I get my plain tees at Uniqlo. Yeah, but you're like a cool guy. Owasi is super slick. I've been in his car. It's super fancy, and he plays his R&B, and he's like all dressed up to the nines and looking good and trim, and you know. We could all probably learn a thing or two from Owasi. How to present ourselves. I'm more of a schlob. Biggest metal festival in the world. Awesome. When I was in Germany, I was so surprised and annoyed by how awesome the music festivals are there. Although I don't know why, but it should be so surprised. But so we used to, they've kind of gotten rid of them now. We used to have these really big music festival, big for us. Yeah. The biggest one was called the Big Day Out. And you'd get like maybe 1 or 2 really good headline acts, and then the rest were sort of smaller bands mixed with local bands. And, you know, and we have a great music scene, so I'm not complaining. But I was just walking down the street, and I saw a sign for some festival, you know, in Germany. And it was all the biggest bands in the world all in one festival. I was like, are you kidding me? These guys don't know how good they have it. They would never come, like, because that would just, the logistics of getting all those bands out to Australia at one time, it just never happens. So I was kind of annoyed, but also amazed. The only band I saw in Germany was, who were they? They like electronic music. Oh my god, I'm completely blanking. Damn it. Oh, this is going to kill me. I really love this group too. Are they a band? Can you call electronic music a band? No, it's gone. Oh, I can see it too. What's the band? Their big album had a beetle on it, like a beetle with a rhinoceros beetle. I'm gonna Google that. Album with rhinoceros beetle. Damn it. Oh, this is gonna annoy me now. Is it a stag beetle? Massive Attack. Was it Massive Attack? I think it was Massive. Yeah, was it Massive Attack? I think it was. Anyway, thank God. Anyway, it was really cool because It was held in a abandoned, actual literal abandoned warehouse in this abandoned, not Prodigy, no, abandoned industrial area. So we got on a train with a whole bunch of people, and we had no idea where we're going. We get off at this station, and we're just following the crowd. And we're walking through this industrial. It's not Prodigy. It's not Prodigy, Skip. That was a crab. Exactly, Jav. No, it's I'll show it to you. I just had it up. Where is it? Yes. Allow. Share screen. There. That one. Mezzanine. When did that come out? 1998. So I was in Germany in 2003. So that was 5 years old at that point. There you go. Bit of music trivia for you. But yeah, we just followed the crowd, and we never would have found it otherwise. And then we ended up in this abandoned warehouse, and there was imagine a warehouse is completely gutted, and it was just concrete and crap everywhere, as you would imagine, broken windows, and it's a bit of a labyrinth. And then in the middle of this open space, like in a friggin' sci-fi movie, there's a stage, and everyone just sort of huddled around the stage, and then eventually Massive Attack came out and played there. It's awesome. Thank you, Jaro. He knew. He got it. I got to wake up in a few hours. Good night, Paulus. Thank you for hanging out. It was the most German gig I could have ever expected. It was great. Now all the songs are coming back into my head now that I saw that album. Teardrop. What's going on? But yeah, I didn't have the means, I don't think, to really get myself out to a big festival. Well, that would have been cool. All the time. I was studying. I was the only person there who was an international student who was actually friggin' studying and working. Everyone else was, you know what they were doing. I was getting up at 9 a.m., taking the tram in, taking the train in, going to school. I was like, where is everyone? What are they doing? I guess I university studented wrong. Sorry for the dead air. I don't have anything to say. Unfortunately, I'm not Shant. I just can't come up with extraordinarily interesting philosophical discussions out of thin air as I go. It's great to see Jaro in the chat, though. Been seeing a few people around that I haven't seen in a little while. And got reached out to by a Smiling Bandito today. That was good. Good to see some of the old faces. Entertain me, Bogan, says Camel. What do I have to do? Just pull up the photo of the Saki monkey and laugh at it for a bit. That was good. That was pretty funny. I was hanging out on Jake's stream the other day, and he was having a fit. I was at my photo shoot, Jake. I was like listening, but I had to pull out my phone to see what the hell you were laughing at. He's enamored by this particular monkey that he finds incredibly hilarious, which it is, admittedly, it's a pretty funny looking creature. Skip says, "Oh wow, how's he doing? Did Poland get out?" Bandito is around. Like, he's never really left. He's just less involved. No one has seen Poland for probably a couple of years now. The last time I saw Poland, and people who don't know, back in the real before times, you know, everyone's talking like, "Oh, I've been here for ages. I've been here since 2023." You know, I'm like, no, let's talk 2019, 2020, 2018 even, although I wasn't streaming in 2018. But yeah, back in those days, I used to have a regular crowd, and it was literally just people who had come on to call in and, you know, stuck around. One of them was a very, very cool gentleman by the name of Paul. Well, that wasn't his name. I know his real name, but he went by the name Poland. And he got very political towards the what year was it? It was like, it was the year that Trump lost. It was the year of January 6th and everything, and I think he had to go lay low for a little bit. It was a tumultuous time. Anyway, we miss him. He was awesome. But I saw him. I was in a Eric July stream of all places, and I was just saying hello to some people, and Eric just, you know, apropos of nothing, said, "Oh, Bancroft in the chat." I was like, "Oh," and I saw Poland, and he said Bancroft's great. I was like, "What?" And that was it. Just a random Poland spotting in a random Eric July chat. That would have been, 2 years ago, probably. Haven't seen him since. Blue Samurai still kicking around here and there. I do see Bandito more, though. Chris says, "I remember Poland, he had a very shaved head." He did indeed. Poland was responsible for me getting on this chick from Venezuela. I remember we had her on just because she'd sort of started, I guess, vlogging about, you know, the encroaching socialism and communism happening in the States, and she'd recently emigrated to the States, and she'd started, you know, trying to, I guess, a YouTube channel or something. She was very pretty, and Poland was hoping that something could happen there, as, you know, any red-blooded American would. You find a beautiful anti-communist young lady. I wonder if she, you know, actually ended up doing anything. Bancroft wants to retake Poland, confirmed. Does anyone remember her? I feel like her name was... No, she wasn't Latinx. She wasn't Latinx, was she? No, she was like a white Venezuelan, I think. I can't remember. Oz says he's been enjoying Skip's drawings over on YouTube. His shorts. One day. Skip's book is like 6 a.m. comics book. One day it'll become a real boy, maybe. Don't ever say Latinx again, lol. Well, we say it tongue in cheek, obviously. It's hard to believe that that was a thing people tried to make happen. But then again, there's lots of things I can scarcely believe. She went on. No, she was on because she was an activist. Yeah, that's true. At colleges about taking gender out of the Spanish language. I don't remember that. I don't know. I used to be more outgoing, getting guests on. I do remember that. Now I'm like, leave me alone. Just trying to draw a book here. Literally all of the big guests I've had on my show have been someone else getting them. None of them have come from me. Almost none of them, I don't think. I think we're good there. Pull it up. Oh my God, how could I find her? So I was on go to my channel. Filter through the many live streams. And I guess if I search for Venezuela, maybe. How do you spell Venezuela? I have literally no idea. I can't see it in my head. Not Venus. I don't know how to spell that. Is there a Y in there? How do you spell Venezuela? I've got no idea. It's gonna kill me. Venice. You guys wouldn't even believe how I'm spelling it here. Oh, that's okay. I would never have gotten that. That would never have happened. Venezuela. Oh my God. Yeah, I would never have concocted that. There she is. Elizabeth Rogliani. What was she doing on my channel?
Oh my God. Okay.
And look, it's the same intro 4 years ago. Where's Poland? There he is. He's got a hat on. Hey. Oh, his name. He did have his name out there. Christian. Dude. You're not far off. You're not far off. All right. Her name is Elizabeth Rogliani. Let's check her out. What's Elizabeth up to these days? No, it was mostly just on my channel. Yeah, this is the one that went viral. That's how she sort of became known. Yeah, she doesn't have like a huge amount of followers. I don't want to click on people's Instagram. I don't know what's going to be on there. It's like a family and stuff. She wrote a book. She wrote a book. Was that out when I knew her? Elizabeth Rogliani, How Progressivism Destroyed Venezuela, a Cautionary Tale. I remember her. I remember that part of it. She was like, she was detailing the how Venezuela went and drawing analogies to what was happening in the States at the time, like the tearing down of the statues and the renaming of streets and everything. I remember that. We're going a while back now. That's not Cameroon. Words are hard, Oz. They are, especially Latin words. Venezuela. That's good. Not far off. I thought there was a Y in there somehow. I don't know why. Never go commie. Better dead than red. 100%. Oh, Christian? No, that's not Camel Moon. I don't think Camel Moon was a trumper at that point. I mean, I don't think you'd call Camel a trumper now, but like, you know, more open. He was definitely not like a MAGA hat wearing guy. Never. He's more of a Batman wearing hat, you know, Batman hat wearing guy. All right. What have I got left? So I think that page is done. I think close enough. I'm not going to get all that done. I got to go have dinner. I'm on a strict 16-8 intermittent fasting. If I don't eat dinner in the next 20 minutes, I've blown my cover. How long have we been going? We're going an hour and a half. That's enough. It's late. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out. Thank you especially to Jim Alaska, who tipped the campaign over to 260 backers. On to 270 now. I will organize my stretch goals. I'll get there. We'll do it. That's going to be me. I'm going to go have some dinner and maybe watch a movie later. I hope you have a fantastic night. We'll see if Rob can stream tomorrow. We'll do the art share. I'll see if I can get Mike Barron on for Friday. American Friday. Until then, have a great one. Bye.
Perth made an Australian video and I wasn't even in it.
Emotional damage.